in a tight end room that consists of only one number one tight end, the question at this point going forward is, well, I think we're still trying to find a definitive number two, despite the fact that this team, this offense, is going to look to throw the ball a lot more, judging by the moves that the Eagles have made in the offseason between trades and the draft. But, well, there's only one football, and we may still run some 12 personnel packages. Who knows? But who's going to be the number two to go alongside Dallas Goedert? Good evening, Bird brothers and sisters. Lindy Endzone is in for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Philadelphia Eagles, one video at a time. And, well, yes, another big thanks to y'all and the support that I have gotten as of late. And, my most viewed, my most watched video is approaching 1,900, and I did not think that was going to happen. And I'm not talking down on myself here, but it just felt like another day. It felt like another video for me to talk about something, and well, it blew up beyond my imagination, and some more followers, some more subscribers have come along with it, and it goes a long way for me, and thank you for the support that continues to climb, and and part of that is the appreciation, and being picked up by Sideline Sports Network, and with that, having the LinkedIn podcast as the flagship show for all that is the Philadelphia Eagles with Philly Jim, and be sure to continue to go and check that out. 2 episodes in, still improving, still getting better, still evolving. Episode 3 this Friday at 8 p.m. once more on 2 platforms, that being the Sideline Sports channel and Philly Jim's channel. Make sure to check it out. But nonetheless, let us get into the conversation at hand. There's not much discussion right now in terms of the tight end position, and respectively so, because everyone at the moment is very enamored with the cornerback room and the addition of James Bradberry to pair up with Darius Slay, and us having essentially 2 number 1 corners starting. But as it looks, that's a pretty nice trio to have for starting corners. But I don't know. Tight end to me doesn't feel also clear on the offensive side of the football. You have Dallas Goedert, and then you have, well, not a whole lot. And we understand that Jack Stoll was the number 2 last year in terms of the depth chart, and now the journeyman Richard Rodgers is still here. Rich Rod. Just nestled all the way in the back there on the depth chart. And then, you still have Tyree Jackson trying to nurse and come back from injury. You have Noah Togiai, who's primarily been on the practice squad. And now you add Grant Calcaterra, the 6th round pick out of this year's draft class, into the mix. And, well, still trying to see if this room is any clearer to me. I can't say that I don't think the Eagles are going to go in keeping 7 tight ends. There's definitely going to be some competition there, and who's going to make the final 53 and get past the official cuts to trim it down to 53. But it's still tough to me. Man. And now that I'm thinking about it more and more, it really kind of stumps you. I think I can say, when it boils down to it, I think the competition is going to primarily be, between Grant Calcaterra and Jack Stoll. They're both different tight ends in their own regard. Grant is more of a pass catching, receiving tight end, where Jack Stoll is primarily known for his blocking. Now, opposites attract a little bit in that regard. In some ways, one's going to work on one asset, one facet of their game that they're weak at, and vice versa between the two. But as we know, there is quite a lot of optimism in Jack Stoll that people have said that they wanted him to get the football more. But then you add Grant into the mix, and the fact that he was one of Jalen Hurts' weapons at Oklahoma. There's a connection there, as well as with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So you imagine that, the connectivity between Hurts and Calcaterra here is going to have a factor in terms of how the depth chart is going to look. Now, of course, Grant has to prove himself in that regard. He has to stay healthy in consideration of his concussion history. But he shows a lot of promise as a pass catching tight end. Now, you can imagine that, maybe in some 12 personnel packages when you're in the red zone of having Calcaterra and Goddard on the field at the same time, that you're going to have two big targets to pair with, another physical specimen in A.J. Brown. That's pretty attractive. But, at the end of it all, I don't want to say I'm stumped at this moment because, well, then again, I am a little bit. But at the same time, it is rather early. We do know that I think and I forget the name of this, I forget the name of the individual, but they did have a Penn State basketball player try out at rookie minicamp and OTAs. Don't know what happened with him. He must have not have made it, but nonetheless, there's I think the number 2 tight end spot is still up in the air as of right now, which is not necessarily a bad thing because, well, you don't want to take the ball out of Goddard's hands. But then again, if the Eagles are still going to run some 12 personnel packages, I feel that they can do a little bit better than Jack Stoll. And maybe a guy like Grant Calcaterra is that answer. And, well, I don't think we want to throw Tyree Jackson to the wayside either, because he did show us some stuff in last year's preseason games. And unfortunately, it got cut short for him. And now he's another one that has to battle injury. But those are just some of my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments on what you guys think of the tight end position, who you want to be the number 2 paired next to Dallas Goedert, how the new offensive acquisitions, most notably A.J. Brown, is going to affect the passing game, how you guys think the ball should be distributed. And, well, a lot of this is going to depend on our quarterback. But, again, well, let's put our thinking caps on here a little bit. I don't know. I think I would personally want to see a mix between Stoll and Calcaterra, but number 2 is still up in the air to me. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all sticking to the end of the video. And you guys already know the deal. Fly Eagles fly, bleed green. Take care of yourselves, everyone. And I will see you next time.